Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is Null here, and today we're doing another episode of Pixel Patrol. So this is episode 5. Hope you guys are all doing good. Sorry I haven't been sticking to schedule like I said I was going to. Work has been just killing me with overtime. I've had extra hours every single week, so it's real hard to sit down and plan out a podcast. I'm going to try to do better, get back on a schedule like I've been saying for weeks, but yeah, I mean, I can't help it. I literally, got to work 55 hours in a week, get 2 days off compared to my normal three. And then, I'm just tired. I got to handle all my business outside of, fun stuff, errands and stuff and chores, and do that on the weekend days that I don't work, so not going to make a podcast in that time. But we're here now. We're doing another episode 5, like I said. Nothing, besides working a lot. I maybe play multiverses after work, or, that's what I've been playing lately. But yeah, so overall, not too bad. Making just extra money, a lot of overtime. It is what it is. It's a good thing to have overtime right now, I think. I'm feeling good. I'm doing good. Nothing crazy pickup wise. I don't think I even have any pickups. I bought Power Washing Simulator on Xbox Series X, like digital. That's literally it. I don't think there's anything else I have. No, besides maybe comic books or like books and stuff. So, but this is a video game podcast. We don't talk about that stuff because books are for losers. But besides, reading comic books and actual books, I've been playing throughout the week when I have time. League of Legends still cranking away at that. Struggling to hit gold. I don't think I'm going to for this season. Next season, though, y'all be ready because I'll be gold. Next up, we got Final Fantasy VII Remake. Still playing that a little bit. I haven't really played it that much this week because it's hard for me to sit down and start this RPG and remember all the mechanics and everything and the story. Only play for 30 minutes to an hour a night. So I haven't really been touching it, but I still really like it when I do play it. Next, we got Multiverses. Multiverses has been really fun, actually. I really like it. It's not... let me find the words for it. It's like a floatier Smash Bros, which is fine. It feels good. You can do some pretty wicked combos. I've been playing a lot of Shaggy, which I think is the best beginner character in the game. Shaggy's really good. But I just want to say, too, before I go into more about the multiverses thing, Taz is busted. They need to figure out something. Nerf Taz, ban, do something because I'm team ban Taz. How they had the ban Bayonetta, ban Fox, ban Meta Knight thing for Smash Bros. They need to ban Taz because he's busted. All these idiots online on multiverses spam side B. And a lot of times you'll play 2v2s, and these two morons will play double Taz, and it's impossible to hit them because they'll side B, wait, side B, wait, side B. It's impossible to hit them, and their side B is almost invincible. So there's a couple moves that can break through, but if they're spamming 5 side Bs in a row, it doesn't matter. And it's got high kill power. I think if the kill power wasn't so high, and the knockback wasn't so high, and it just shredded you, I think that'd be fine. But it's knockback, it's a kill move that also does a ton of damage, and you can spam it every 5 seconds. But yeah, they sent me an email for early access to the open beta, so I get to play it a bit early. I was an alpha tester, getting it, back in the early days of the game. I alpha tested it twice, so getting early access to the open beta is pretty sweet. I really enjoy it. I've been playing it a lot, but I think the monetization is insane. More specifically, the founders packs are overpriced, in my opinion at least, and I would like to get the founders packs, but I'm not paying $100 for the deluxe founders pack. That's just not going to happen. But at the end of the day, I don't have to pay for it, so it doesn't really matter. I just wish it was cheaper. And but I'm having a lot of fun with the game, and I think it has serious potential to blow up. They already announced 3 new characters coming to the game. LeBron is going to be in by next week with a Space Jam outfit on, and then Rick and Morty are going to come to the game as well. So pretty big deal. A lot of potential there. They already have content planned to continue the game, so more stages, more characters. You keep it rolling. It prints money. I honestly wish that Nintendo would do that too and just make Smash Bros. Like ongoing and do DLC packs. So I think Multiverses has like serious potential. It's gonna be my main free to play battle pass game for sure. So yeah, so that's about it. What I've been playing, and haven't been playing too much. Nothing too crazy, and honestly, like I want to. The issue right now for me is that I'm working a lot of overtime, so I want to play more games, but I also want to play older games. So I want to start doing sections of the podcast where I talk about older games I'm playing. But the issue is getting the time to sit down and play them because I have a game room, which is awesome, but sitting down and actually getting to like play an old game is hard. When or you could just come back from work and sit down and play your PS5 or your Series X or whatever's hooked up in your living room. So I don't know, maybe I got to start getting better at sitting down and playing my PlayStation 3 or my Xbox 360 or my N64 and stuff. But it's just hard to find the time to sit down and like in a room away from everybody and play. So I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm going to try to make more of a conceited effort. I want to start doing videos or sections of the podcast where I talk about older games. So I'm going to try to work on that. So next week, we'll see on my next week's I've been playing section, what I'm playing section, if I played any old stuff. So hold my feet to the fire on that. I want to do that. So, but the main thing of this podcast is there hasn't really been any news about any video games yet. Nothing crazy. Just small stuff like games release dates and everything. So nothing too insane. You can pretty much look everything up online if you wanted to. So I was thinking, what if we do a fun segment on whether or not, well, not whether or not, but what my game of the year is, and whether or not I like the games that came out that year for every year since I've been born. So I called it my game of the year over the years list. And the concept of this list was inspired by like the Scott the Woz episode where he lists his favorite games from the Game Awards over the years. But I wanted to create like my own similar list, but instead of limiting it to what Game Awards had nominated at the time, I want to look at every game that came out over my lifespan and write down my favorite game that came out each year. I think this will be fun, and it'll give a little insight into my gaming opinions, and maybe at some point I'll do like a pre-1998, because that's when I was born, a pre-1998 favorite games list. But as 1998 was the year I was born, and that's what the rules of the list are, and I make the rules of the list, so that's what we're doing. Also, I have to have had played or beaten the game for it to qualify on the list. Also, these are North American release dates. So, for instance, Pokemon Red and Blue came out in 1997 in Japan, came in 1996 or 1997 in Japan, came out in 1998 in North America. So, I don't really care about so technically you can say, well, it came out in 1996. Well, there's no way I would have had access to it until 1998, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm aware that it came out earlier in Japan or Europe or wherever, but North America, because that's where I live. So let's get into my game. My game of the year over the years. That's what I'm going to call the episode. It's going to be called My Game of the Year Over the Years. Pixel Patrol. Okay. I'm sorry if I made that super confusing, but here are my games of the year for every year since 1998. And I spoiled one of them already, but for 1998, we're starting off with Pokemon Red and Blue. And Pokemon Red and Blue released in 1998 in North America and 1996 in Japan. And so I was right. It was 1996. I wrote down some notes for each game just to kind of keep it moving. But I love these games for what they were, and they kickstarted the biggest franchise in the world. I'm pretty sure Pokemon is the highest grossing franchise in the history of the world or something like that. Pretty insane. And I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and I play every game as they release and stuff, but I also go back and play the older games all the time, and there's just something about old school Pokemon that makes these games special, and that's why this is my game of the year for 1998. I didn't pick Zelda on the NES, or something like that. Whatever Zelda game came out in 1998. I'm not sure. There was a Zelda game that came out in 1998. I'm 90% sure. I wrote down in the notes, don't kill me because I didn't play Zelda. So we're going to double check really quick and see. Oh, Ocarina of Time. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Ocarina of Time. Okay, yes. This is why in the notes I put, don't kill me, please. So the 1998 is the same year that Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time came out, which is considered on the internet to be like the best video game of all time. And I'm a super mega Zelda fan, but I never played Zelda Ocarina of Time. It's on my bucket list. I own it. I own Majora's Mask as well. I've just never played them. So please don't kill me. Don't, I I never played Ocarina of Time, and it's the main reason why Pokemon Red and Blue are on this list. But yeah, so that's why Ocarina of Time isn't on there. So please do not kill me. Next, we got 1999, and the original Super Smash Bros. Came out in 1999 and kickstarted the series. I love Smash Bros. So much, and I used to go back and actually play this all the time. My dad had it, so I used to go back and play this and like unlock the characters all the time. And I played the crap out of it, and I would play like the single player mode over and over and over again. And yeah, but I'm glad I was able to put this on my list because I don't ever really get to talk about this game, and I love it so much. So yeah, it's the original Smash Bros. Nintendo 64. I will say it has a lot of charm, but going back and playing it, especially as a competitive player, I hate how it feels and I hate how it plays. And yeah, I literally bought a Brawl pad just to play like N64 games with, and it helps a lot playing this game. But I would watch combo videos on YouTube, like Combo Fest videos from like SmashCon, and watch all these crazy combos, that infinite combos that people do in Smash 64, and it seems like impossible. I don't know how they do it. And I go in and I try to practice combos and stuff, or or something like that, and I can never figure it out. So yeah, it's just the Smash game that I like playing for fun. 1999. All right, next up we got the year 2000, and we got Y2K. It's Y2K, guys. Y2K, and who cares? Because Pokemon Silver and Gold came out. Pokemon Silver was my very first Pokemon game I ever played, and it's still my favorite to this day. And I loved Pokemon Silver so much. And like I said earlier about Red and Blue, like there's just something mysterious and like different about the Pokemon games of the early years. Pokemon Red, Blue, Gold, Silver. There's just Yellow. There's just something about that time period in Pokemon. I was about to say Minecraft, in Pokemon, like Pokemon, the old adventures novel, like comic books, the old like watercolor, artwork for the series, the old trading card game packaging, the old trading cards, the show, everything. It was just something about that vibe. I don't know if it's nostalgia or what, but everything now is very like clean cut and marketed to be basically like pixel perfect. But back then, they did all kinds of crazy stuff and had crazy artwork, and I don't know, it's just something about the old Pokemon. I'm thinking I'm going to do a video about that, about why the old Pokemon style and stuff like that was so different and better than it is now. But obviously that's nostalgia talking. There are a lot of people that probably love modern Pokemon, but yeah, I don't know. Just Pokemon Silver was my first Pokemon game ever. I love it to death, and I love like the pixel art and the style of the games and the music and everything. Just those old Pokemon games were great. But yeah, I had to pick Pokemon Silver for my or Pokemon Silver and Gold for my year 2000 game of the year. All right, for 2001, I had to pick Super Smash Bros. Melee. I had to. Super Monkey Ball came out in 2001 as well, and I love that game too, but you can't beat Melee. You just can't. The character selection was prime. The gameplay was amazing. The single player game mode was great. I played so much Melee when I was a kid against kids at my daycare and stuff. And granted, I didn't play like '05. I didn't really play it till like '05 or '06, but it was so amazing to play with friends and be by myself and stuff. It was so fun. And after I got into competitive Smash in 2015, 2014, I started learning how to wave dash and L cancel, and even though I never played this game competitively back in the day, I still load it up sometimes and just wave dash and L cancel around computers and just beat them up. It's a lot of fun. No other Smash really feels like it, so I had to pick Melee for 2001. I just had to. Also, let me double check, because that doesn't feel right? I sometimes forget how long ago the GameCube came out, right? Because the GameCube came out... When did the GameCube come out? Let me double check this, because I did research on this, and the issue, okay, September 2001, and then Smash Bros. Melee came out November. Okay, wow, so it was like a launch title. Okay. So I just want to double check because a lot of the times, like I said, it says like Japanese and American release date, and I remember playing it when I was like 2005 and 2006. I don't, I did not realize it was that long ago. So wow, I bet you that makes everybody feel old. But yeah, it's Melee for 2001. My 2002 game of the year goes to Kingdom Hearts. I played Kingdom Hearts quite recently, actually, like a couple years ago, and it's one of my favorite series I've played in a long time. It's very rare for me to go and play like a brand new game series and absolutely love it and get like obsessed with it. But Kingdom Hearts did it, and I loved Kingdom Hearts. I never experienced it as a kid, and when I played through it 3 years ago, I loved it like crazy. It was so fun. The unique setting and environments and the weird combination of Disney and Square Enix works very, very well together. And I love this game, and I'm still actually obsessed with the series. Next up for 2003 Game of the Year, I chose Legend of Zelda Wind Waker on the GameCube. I absolutely love this game, and it kickstarted my love for gaming as a whole. The art of the game is amazing and stands the test of time, which is like actually crazy because it was released on the GameCube. So like the fact that the art style just lasts forever. I mean, they did like a HD remaster of it on the Wii U, and you can tell that it's like better, but it's still, you go back and you play the old GameCube version, it's still amazing. You still can't beat it. Released on the GameCube. Um, what else? What else? Oh, the music. The music of this game is amazing as well. And I know a lot of people hate like the sailing aspect of the game, but when I was a kid, I loved sailing around and like finding the different islands and stuff. It was pretty dope. I had a lot of fun, except for that stupid tornado thing that would suck you up and make you fly away. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but that was annoying. Nowadays, like this isn't my favorite Zelda game, but it was my first Zelda game, and it's super nostalgic for me. And after this game, I became obsessed with Zelda and like video games as a whole. And if it wasn't for Wind Waker, my video game preferences and like my history with gaming would probably be completely different. So yeah, I love Wind Waker. Next up, 2004 Game of the Year. There were a lot of great games released in 2004, and it was hard for me to pick one. But I'm a major Pokemon fan, so I had to choose Fire Red and Leaf Green. I had to. Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, more so Fire Red, are my favorite Gen 3 Pokemon games. I've never really played like Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, or Emerald until I was older. And my parents got me Fire Red and Leaf Green as a gift after they got me Pokemon Silver and like saw how much I liked it and everything. And I strictly remember my dad showing me like news articles on Pokemon Fire Red as a kid and like screenshots and stuff, and asking if it looks cool and if I would like want to play it. I remember them buying it for me when it came out, and I was super like pumped. And I played and beat Pokemon Fire Red like multiple times over and over. And it's one of those games that I can just go back to and play whenever I want, and play in. I still have a copy of Fire Red and just go in and play it forever, infinitely, whenever I want. I love Pokemon Fire Red. I could reset the save, replay it, reset the save, replay it. I love Fire Red. Pokemon Silver was my introduction to Pokemon, and it will always be like my favorite Pokemon game for that reason. But this is my second favorite Pokemon game, and it got me really into the Pokemon craze. Pokemon Silver got me into it. Pokemon Fire Red got me like, submerged. I started with the trading cards and everything after Fire Red. So, yeah. I remember my starter in Silver, I picked Cyndaquil. My starter in Fire Red, I picked Charmander. So I'm pretty basic, I guess. But yeah. So Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, 2004 Game of the Year. My next Game of the Year for 2005. There were a bunch of good games that came out actually in 2005. I have here listed Pokemon Emerald and Shadow of the Colossus. But I consider Shadow of the Colossus to be like a masterpiece, so I had to choose it. And I love Pokemon Emerald, but I've never played it that much, and I always loved Fire Red more. I recently played through Shadow of the Colossus, and I love its theming and like silent storytelling. And fighting the Colossi is fun. It's a boss fight every time. It's so much fun. The setting, the music, the plot, everything. It tells a really good story without barely doing anything. I think that's a really good quality to have. Not many games do that. And I think this game is a must play for video game players. It's a must play. I think everyone needs to play Shadow of the Colossus once. It's not very long. It's not super brutal. It's not very hard. It's just fun, interesting, and it was one of the real big first open world games of the day. Came out 2005 on the PS2, so it kind of really kickstarted a lot of stuff. But I love Shadow of the Colossus. It's a masterpiece. Next up for 2006, we have The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. It released on November 19th, 2006 in North America, and even though a lot of people hate it or consider it to be not as good as other Zelda games, it is my favorite Zelda game of all time. Purely for nostalgic reasons. But I've said on previous podcasts I viewed games and it changed how I viewed games and showed a darker side of the Zelda universe. You know, even though it's not like super dark or anything. And I love the like the overtone and distorted music of the Twilight Realm, or the overtone. Overtone. What word am I thinking of? Overall tone. I love the overall tone. Oh my goodness, my brain's skipping. I love the overall tone in the music of the Twilight Realm and just like the music in general of Twilight Princess. I love Midna as a character. She's like super awesome and funny. I loved how epic the final fight with Ganon was, and I will admit there were like some stupid missions and like objectives, but overall it's a lot of fun and I loved playing it. I loved playing it. Twilight Princess is my favorite game of all time, and it was going to take the Game of the Year slot for 2006 with no contest. 2007. 2007 was a banger year in gaming. And really quick, we're going to go over all the greatest games released this year, and we have some crazy heavy hitters, such as So these all came out in 2007. Mass Effect 1, Uncharted 1, BioShock 1, first Portal game, Zelda Phantom Hourglass, which I actually liked and beat that game, but I know a lot of people hate it. Halo 3, and Halo 3, people still talk about Halo 3's release day to this day. They talk about how crazy Halo 3 was when it came out and how big of a deal it was. So Halo 3 is huge. Mario Party 8 came out in 2007. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out this year. Gen 4 is my favorite gen of Pokemon, and so you'd think this would be my game of the year, but you're wrong. Platinum is my favorite Gen 4 game. My game of the year after all those games has to be Super Mario Galaxy. I played Galaxy when it came out, and again recently on the Switch, and it reminded me of how much a masterpiece that game is. The music is amazing, the graphics are great, especially for the Wii, and the gameplay is great. Mario Galaxy has its own vibe, and it works so well, and I could replay this game over and over again. Just, I never get sick of it. Super Mario Galaxy is a game I consider to be one of the greatest games of all time. So it definitely is my game of the year for 2007, and it had some steep competition, including all the games I just mentioned, as well as the B-movie game, which came out in 2007 as well, and you know how people feel about the B-movie. Everyone likes the B-movie. 2008. 2008 had a bunch of heavy hitters as well, such as Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which I played a ton as a kid, Mario Kart Wii, which I think we all played a ton as a kid, Little Big Planet, which I played a ton as a kid on the PS3, Burnout Paradise, I loved that game. Boom Blocks, which I actually discovered recently, and it's a super fun party game. I got it from a garage sale for $2. Pretty sick. But for the 2008 Game of the Year slot, I had to choose Fallout 3. I didn't end up playing the Fallout games until I was a teenager, but they quickly rose to be one of my favorite game series of all time, and Fallout 3 is the first Fallout game Bethesda made when they got the license and rights to Fallout. And they turned it into a first-person shooter, a first-person perspective shooter, open-world RPG, and it completely blew up. I love Fallout 3 and its setting in Washington, D.C., and the goal of the game, if you don't know the story of this Fallout, it's to get purified water to the capital wasteland so people don't have to struggle for water, but also find your dad who left the vault. The music is amazing, both the Fallout ambient music as well as the radio, and the radio lets you listen to 50s and 60s music. It's great. This game has so much fun, and if you haven't played it yet, you have to like RPGs too, but if you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend it. Fallout's great. Fallout 3 takes the 2008 slot Game of the Year. 2009 keeps the great years going as well, and we got a ton of great games this year. I also want to note that in 2009 I was 11 and I was paying close attention to gaming news more and more, and playing a ton more games. I was starting to get older, and what I was allowed to play opened up because I wasn't allowed to play certain M-rated games and stuff. But as I got older and my maturity level raised, my parents allowed me to play more things. So I was starting to get older, I was allowed to play more things, and I got exposed to a ton more games. So my game of the year are starting to get a little bit more different. It's not going to be just Pokemon Nintendo all the time. I think Fallout 3 is the first game on the list that wasn't a Nintendo game. Oh no, Shadow of the Colossus was my other one. So for 2009, These are all the games that came out in 2009, and then I'll give you my game of the year. So for 2009, we have Uncharted 2, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, COD Modern Warfare 2, which all of us played a ton of that when it came out. League of Legends, which I did not play when it came out, but I played later in 2011 to 2012 or 2011 is when I started. Borderlands, one of my favorite series of all time. Wii Sports Resort, Infamous, Street Fighter 4, and Skate 2. Now, Wikipedia says that Minecraft came out in 2009, but I did some research, and it turns out that the first version of the game's alpha released then. The official full release of the game is in 2011. I remember watching the live stream of Notch like pulling the lever for the release, and he did the whole "the game is out now" and he pulled it. I'm not going to count alpha and beta as release in the game. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to allow alpha and beta content as like the game's full official release. If it was though, Minecraft would have won this year. If we were counting alpha and beta, Minecraft would have won 2009. But I remember playing Minecraft before 2011, but since it's not its technical release date, it does not count. The game Minecraft would have beaten for first place was Pokemon Platinum, which is like crazy, and I thought Pokemon Platinum would have gotten the win whatever year it came out was. But luckily for Pokemon Platinum, Minecraft did not technically release this year, so it actually got a pass. But Pokemon Platinum will most likely be the last Pokemon game on this list. Pokemon Platinum was huge for me because I rarely got games on release day as a kid, but my parents took me to get it on release because I was so excited. I remember my mom asking the GameStop guy for a copy of the game, "Oh, do you guys have Pokemon Platinum in?" And he's like, "No, we don't, but we have a display copy with the display case." So he got up and he got the display case and put the game in. He said, "This is like our last copy." And I'm technically not even supposed to sell this to you, but we do technically have a copy, so here you go. It was really cool, and I got really lucky. I got home, and I played Platinum for hours. It's my favorite Gen 4 game out of the trio, and it's why Gen 4 is my second favorite gen. I love the Pokemon in Platinum and the music so much. I think it fixes a lot of the issues with Diamond and Pearl to make it the best Gen 4 Pokemon game, and I'm glad I got to make it my game of the year for 2009 instead of Minecraft. All right, 2010. This is going to be a hard year to choose the game of the year. After looking through the games that came out, I landed on 2 finalists. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. These are the 2 finalists. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, one of my favorite Pokemon games of all time. It updates my favorite Pokemon Gen 2, into 4th gen graphics and gameplay with a ton of quality of life changes that help keep the game faithful to Gold and Silver, but also improve it. So I love it a lot. But I can't let Heart Gold and Soul Silver beat Super Mario Galaxy 2. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is so good. It's a masterpiece, a sequel to a masterpiece 2, that actually improved and made the series even greater than it already was. The music is perfect, the level design is perfect, the gameplay feels amazing, and it looked great on the Wii. And it improved on so many things from the original Mario Galaxy game. And as much as I wanted to let Pokemon Heart Gold take the Game of the Year slot for 2010, I had to give it to Mario Galaxy 2. So 2010, Mario Galaxy 2. Next, for 2011. This year was very hard to choose as well. 2011 saw the release of Little Big Planet 2, Pokemon Black and White, Portal 2, Infamous 2, The Binding of Isaac, Uncharted 3, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I played a ton of Modern Warfare 3. But the last 2 huge games for me are hard to decide. It's hard for me to pick between them. For the 2011 Game of the Year, I'm stuck between Skyrim and Minecraft. Minecraft was a huge, major part of my life, and I made a lot of friends back then, and I played on a single server all the time, creating my own town and having my friends and factions and, this whole group of people I play with. I had hundreds of single-player worlds I survived in. I modded the heck out of Minecraft for years, and I still go back and play Minecraft and play it for months before I give it a break again. I adore Minecraft and love Minecraft, and I thought for sure whatever year it was going to come out at, or whatever year it released in, it was going to win. It was going to win instantly. But Skyrim is also very influential, and it's very influential to me in the same way as Minecraft. Skyrim also came out this year, and it introduced me to a ton of friends by just talking to people about the game and befriending them. There was so much to discover, and it almost had that like playground video game gossip vibe that used to occur like ton of the 90s in the, a ton in the 90s. We would sit in middle school and talk about different caves we found and what loot in which town it was closest to and what loot it had. Sorry, my brain is malfunctioning. I loved specking out my character and role playing in the world. I liked the story a ton, and for 2011, the graphics were great. I've beaten Skyrim probably 20 to 30 times, and I recently played it and did everything I could and completed every quest in my log and maxed out my character so I didn't have to keep replaying it over and over and over again, and I could call it a day for a while. I still get the urge to play Skyrim all the time, and I just resist it. If I had to honestly choose, I would say Skyrim is a masterpiece to me, and I adore Skyrim, but I have to pick Minecraft for my game of the year. It was a huge part of my life for years, and I made a ton of friends playing it, and I played it for thousands of hours. It was a huge impact on my life. Skyrim was as well. I have Skyrim statues and figures in my office or my game room, and it's just not as big as Minecraft. I love Minecraft, and it was such a huge influence on me. But yeah, so Minecraft wins the 2011 Game of the Year over Skyrim. I know it's going to piss a lot of people off, but I'm sorry, I had to. Next, for 2012, I chose Borderlands 2 as my Game of the Year. Borderlands 2 was huge for me, and I played it with over 500 hours logged. I had multiple characters and multiple builds. That's not even close to what some of these crazy people have that are like obsessed with the game. I love this game, and I think it's the best Borderlands game to this day. I loved writing and I love the writing and the pacing of the game, and I think that Handsome Jack is one of the best villains, if not the best video game villain of all time. I loved sitting down and farming legendaries and min-maxing my build, and this game was like huge for me and really got me into the looter shooter genre. Borderlands is like a legendary series. That's one of my favorite series of all time. You can't beat Borderlands 2. My favorite characters were Roland, Lilith, oh my god, what's the blue-haired one? The blue siren. Maya is one of my favorites. Krieg. I like Miss Moxie a lot. I think Zero's overrated. But yeah, I love Borderlands 2. So Borderlands 2, 2012 Game of the Year. 2013. A bunch of great games also came out in 2013, such as Bioshock Infinite and Last of Us. But I never played those games, so it's between Mario 3D World and Pokemon X and Y. Mario 3D World wins against Pokemon X and Y. Mario 3D World is like criminally underrated in my opinion. It has amazing level design and gameplay. I'm not the biggest fan of the stupid cat Mario suit, but overall I think the game is great, and it is always forgotten about when people talk about Mario games. I think it's great. I think it's amazing. I think it's a great Mario game. I will say though, if I ever played like Last of Us or Bioshock or GTA 5, because GTA 5 came out this year as well, I think they would have beaten Mario 3D World for Game of the Year. But yeah, Mario 3D World 2013 Game of the Year. 2014 Game of the Year goes to Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS and Wii U. I owned both versions, but when I got my Wii U for my birthday, I started my competitive Smash career and have played Smash Bros. Religiously since. I played competitive Smash from 2014 to 2020, and most of those years were with Smash for Wii U. This game had a ton of flaws compared to the previous entries in the series, and was played way more defensively, mechanically wise. I mean, God, people would just... Shielding was the best move in the game. It really was. But overall, as like a Smash game, it was great. The DLC was great. Watching the DLC trailers for each character getting released was great as well, especially as a competitive player, because you think about all the possibilities of the character. Competitive Smash really changed my life and introduced me to a bunch of people I still talk to today. There has been a ton of controversy in the Smash community regarding different things, but the community I was in and the friends I had were great, and just overall great people I still talk to all the time. Smashers are a different breed. They really are. I mean, they're kind, they're welcoming most of the time. I went to a ton of different like Smashers houses to have like Smash Fest, which we are practice sessions, but we call it Smash Fests. And it was great. It was a good time. The game is more important is important to me for so many reasons, and I'm glad I joined the competitive scene, and I owe all of it to Smash 4. It really helped me out. So this game had amazing music, amazing characters, and the gameplay was still great, even if it was super defensive. Ultimate improved on everything in Smash 4, but I still love Smash 4. Also, screw Bayonetta. She was the worst. I hate screw Bayonetta. Smash 4 Bayonetta, at least. All right, 2015. 2015, we saw the release of The Witcher 3 and Fallout 4. Both of those came out this year, and while I played and beat both, I love Fallout 4 more. But I get it that my bias towards Fallout is pretty big, and I can still see why Witcher 3 won the overall Game of the Year for 2015. But this is my list, and Fallout 4 won it, alright? So everybody back off. Fallout 4 is great with the music and the environments, and it's based in Boston, so you get to wander around Boston all the time. And it's really fun, and it felt bigger and better than any other Fallout. It did have a ton of bugs, but Fallout 4 is a great game, and I was so hyped for it. My mom let me skip school the day it came out, and I got to play it. I had it preloaded and everything. It was such a great time, and even though it was super buggy, I still love this game, and it's still great. 2016, the year I graduated. I graduated in 2016. I was officially an adult, and I got a job and got to play video games all day on my days off work. And at the time, I still lived with my parents, and life was just way less stressful at the time. I literally worked, got home, ate, and then played games, and then repeated. And then on my day off, I literally just did nothing but sit at home all day and play games. And luckily for me, my parents didn't make me pay rent at the time. So that was like, they gave me like a year. They said you have like a year to figure out what you're doing. Figure it out. If you're going to stay for longer than a year, but you don't want to go to school, pay rent. If you're going to go to school, you don't have to pay any rent. So that was the deal. 2016. I'm pretty sure Overwatch was released. All right, yeah, sorry. My notes were wrong. So I was on a different part of my notes. Yeah, 2016 was Overwatch. Now that I think about it, Overwatch, I played it a ton, and I liked it a lot at the time, so that's why it wins 2016. Nothing else that I really liked came out that year, and Overwatch was really big at the time. But Overwatch is dead. It's dead now, and Blizzard murdered the game. And when it came out, it felt fresh and felt great, like a MOBA shooter, like a team-based MOBA shooter. It was great. But I played competitive, but they killed the game. The loot boxes killed it. Poor content release schedule killed it. I really think the game was great on release though, and I had a ton of fun playing it, but it's dead now. I had to give it the 2016 Game of the Year. I really liked it. All right, 2017. This is the year that the Switch came out. I remember neither me or my dad pre-ordered it, so we set out to find it on day one. My dad said he saw a Target that had a couple left, so we left and grabbed them. We both got a Switch with Breath of the Wild on release day, and it was a lot of fun. I don't even have to look at the list of games for 2017 that were released to say what game it was. It was Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild's the 2017 Game of the Year. I played over 200 hours of Breath of the Wild. I've beaten it twice, once on regular mode and once on master mode when the DLC was released. I love this game, and it sits right below Twilight Princess on my favorite games of all time list. The environment of the game, the environments, the gameplay, the music, the story, the dungeons, the shrines, everything is just top tier, and it's great. And it comes together to make the game an open world masterpiece. I love this game, and I think it's one of the best games ever made. And I really hope that Breath of the Wild 2 is just as good, if not somehow better. All right, for 2018, we have the Game of the Year for 2018 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Ultimate came out this year. It instantly wins Game of the Year spot for me for 2018. Like I said, I played competitive Smash Bros. Back then, or at the time, and when the game dropped, me and my friend Austin, my roommate, we've been friends since we were kids. We used to play competitive Smash together, and we did doubles and got rocked. But we hung out all day and played all day when it dropped. And then the next day, I went to a fellow Smasher's house, and me and a bunch of other players sat down and grinded the game all day. And even though the base version of the game has a ton of characters and stages, it has like entire Smash Bros. History right there in the game. And It has a ton of the a ton of the characters in the base version were pretty fairly balanced, I think. It was fun to play all the new and old characters and even see how our like mains felt in the new game. Smash Ultimate was so fun to experience for the first time and play competitively. There's hundreds of songs from different series, tons of stages and characters to pick, and when the game dropped, it really felt like Nintendo cared about community feedback and listened to what the competitive scene had been asking for years. I love this game so much, and it wins Game of the Year, no contest. All right, 2019. 2019 was a pretty bad year for me. I started a new job, and I was working over 80 hours a week. I harmed myself, my health, and my well-being. I barely had time for gaming, and I maybe beat one or two games that entire year. I played Borderlands 3 right when it dropped in 2019. I love Borderlands 3 for everything that I improved on the game, gameplay wise, the game series gameplay wise. The story wasn't that great. I wish the villains were better, but overall the gameplay was a lot of fun, and I really loved the new characters and Vault Hunters. I probably played over 300 hours of this game, and I still play it all the time today. All right, guys, we're on to 2020. We're almost here. 2020 was pretty bad. It was pretty rough. The pandemic time happened. The pandemic happened. Game releases got super thin because the world's suffering a pandemic. I got a new job and I worked through the entire pandemic. I didn't even get to work from home, but I still played a ton of video games on my days off, even with a lack of them being released. In the midst of the pandemic, Sony released the PS5, which I was lucky enough to get one, and there was a highly anticipated game coming that everyone was excited for years. I played it on the PS5, so I'm pretty sure I had a better experience than other people. But my 2020 Game of the Year is Cyberpunk 2077. Before you guys all get mad at me for picking Cyberpunk over something else, specifically Crash Bandicoot 4, I was super hyped for Cyberpunk. I got everything I wanted out of that game, but I understand why people were pissed off and are still pissed off about that game. I was lucky enough to have pretty good time playing it. I didn't really have any bugs, and I had a good time playing the game. I really enjoyed it. It's honestly one of my favorite games of all time, despite everything and despite what everybody said about it. It deserves the reputation it got on release for sure, and CDPR did lie about a lot of stuff. CD Projekt Red, the developers behind the game, lied about a lot, and I really wish this game would have gotten delayed more. I wish they were more honest about what they were doing with the game, but it is really, honestly, a really good game, and I wish they would have worked on making the story mode branch out more. The story quests and stuff, your decisions really don't make any difference in anything. There are a couple characters that might die or not die based on your actions, but in terms of a major overarching branching story, it's not really existent. The only major game-changing choice that you have is at the end when you get to choose how you end the game. That's about it. The game is one of my favorite games of all time, though, and I love it to death. I'm waiting for them to continue to improve it so I can play it again with no worries, as I got lucky with minimal issues on my first playthrough. Cyberpunk 2077 wins 2020 Game of the Year. I will say the only big glitch that I did have with Cyberpunk 2077 on the PS5, which also is probably why the main reason I didn't have too many issues with it, was because I did play it on PS5. It crashed. I had barely any issues the entire game, and then it crashed on the final credit scene. I was pissed. I picked the Pan Am ending, and so you're driving away with Pan Am, and it rolls the credits, and all the characters are talking to you, and the credits reflect on how your relationships with them were. So certain characters that hated you would say, screw yourself, stuff like that. Characters that liked you asked you how you were doing post the ending of the game through the credit sequence. And it crashed. It crashed in the middle of it. So I was like, oh, cool, sweet. But yeah, so that was the only issue. It waited to the end to take a crap on me. Next, and the final year for 2021 Game of the Year, we got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart wins Game of the Year for 2021. I felt like the game showed off the PS5's capabilities, and I love Ratchet and Clank. I don't have a single game on this list from Ratchet and Clank, but compared to everything that came out in 2021, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart wins easily. You got the PS5 capabilities out of it. You got to see the SSD capabilities out of it. You got to see that better, the 4K graphics out of it, the 60 frames per second. I had a lot of fun just shooting my way through enemies, seeing the different planets, the new mechanics that were only possible because of the SSD, they said. And I love the Ratchet and Clank series, so I'm glad I get to put at least one of them on the list. And it's the first PS5 entry on the list, so pretty good. So that's every year, every game, my game of the year for every game for every year for the past 22 years. So let's go over a quick recap of my each game for each year. So for starting in 1998, we got Pokemon Red and Blue. 1999 was Smash Bros. 64. 2000 was Pokemon Silver and Gold. 2001 was Super Smash Bros. Melee. 2002 was Kingdom Hearts. 2003 was Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. 2004 was what was it? Pokemon Fire Red. Yep, Pokemon Fire Red for 2004. 2005 was Shadow of the Colossus. 2006 was Twilight Princess. 2007 was Super Mario Galaxy. 2008 was Fallout 3. 2009 was Pokemon Platinum. 2010 was Super Mario Galaxy 2. 2011 was Minecraft. 2012 was Borderlands 2. 2013 was Super Mario 3D World. Right? Yeah. 2014 was Super Smash Bros. 3DS Wii U. 2015 was Fallout 4. 2016 was Overwatch. 2017 was, what was it? Oh, jeez. I 2017 was Breath of the Wild. I'll remember this. 2017 Game of the Year is Breath of the Wild. 2018 was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. 2019 was Borderlands 3. 2020 was Cyberpunk 2077. 2021 was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So, my game of the year over the past, my life, very Nintendo heavy. But as you can see, as I got older, that changed. Pretty interesting. A lot of the games that I listed, I beat at the time, but some of them I beat in the future. When I went back and looked at the past, it just beat out everything else. Like Shadow of the Colossus, I beat in 2019 or 2018. And it definitely won that year. So, because I never played Pokemon Emerald. Austin, my friend, Audie, always played Pokemon Emerald. That was his main game. But I never played it, so it did not get Game of the Year. Sorry, buddy. All right, so that's all my Game of the Year through the years. I had a lot of fun making this. It took a long time. This whole list, it took me hours because some of the different articles said different things, and they, this game came out in 2008, and then it actually came out in 2010. So it's like, what? How? So I had to double check and triple check because the internet's ruthless, and if I'm wrong about one thing, I'll hear about it forever. So, yeah. But overall, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to go over. I talked about what I played. I talked about how I've been doing. We went over the Game of the Year list. So not too bad. Not too bad. It was easy. This is a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. So I'm kind of happy. I'm happy that I didn't have to drop a 3-hour episode. But, yeah, so next week for Pixel Patrol, I don't know what we're going to talk about next. I think we might just do my favorite games of all time, my top 25 games of all time. I think that'll be a good list. And ranking them, because there are some games that I talk about, because like that one year that was super stacked. What was it? 2007. A bunch of bangers came out that year, and I just had to pick one. So being able to see my top 25, and there's multiple games of multiple series. Like I'd have Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4 in my top 25. So yeah, so there'd be a lot of Pokemon games in it. We'll see. A lot of RPGs for sure. So that's the game plan for next week for Pixel Patrol 6. That's the goal. So we'll see that. I'm also trying to work on different types of videos. I'm gonna make a video about old Pokemon probably. I don't know when that'll go up. I'm gonna try to shoot for sometime next couple weeks, but I gotta record footage and write a script for it. But yeah, so that's one of my goals. And just to make different types of content, I want to start doing more video essays, reviews, stuff like that to diversify. So, and then that way maybe I could do 2 uploads a week if I schedule it properly. So, all right. My game of the year through the years. Thank you guys for watching. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and Spotify. I'm going to have to take a break from uploading to those for a while because I ran out of audio space, and the audio plan on SoundCloud is ridiculous. It's like $100 a year or something. So I'm gonna look for a different podcasting hosting like service and transfer my RSS feed to that. That's actually caters to podcasts. I heard Podbean was pretty good, but we're gonna see. So for now, mainly gonna be uploading on YouTube. But check out Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Drop like some ratings over there if you guys could. That would be sick. Please don't forget to like the video. Drop a comment too. Tell me what your favorite games are, and we can debate about your opinions in the comments. I'm kidding, obviously, but let me know what your guys' favorite games are. Check me out on Twitter at Sithnol on Twitter, and yeah, I think I hit all the notes. Spotify, Apple Podcast, SoundCloud, Twitter. I think that's it. Oh yeah, I have the gameplay channel as well that I'm gonna do for reviews and stuff. So if I record like a review for a video, and I play through the game, I'm gonna put the gameplay for it up on the second channel, so that way you guys can watch me play through it if you want to. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.